Well, hey, welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. And today I want to talk about something that is very important to me and people like me. And you're probably wondering, well, who are the people like you? People that are on the back end of life, right? There are more days behind me than there are in front of me. So I am talking to you today because you need to get busy living or get busy dying. A famous line from Shawshank Redemption. But more importantly, you just need to get busy and you need to do it now because the older you are, the faster you need to move. So if you're somebody who's still on the fence, who's still trying to vet the right people, who's still attending free coaching programs and not getting a mentor, a coach, or accountability partner to move the needle forward in your business, I'm telling you, you are wasting time. None of us are going to live to be as old as Abraham, who was 100 when he had his first child. Nobody's going to be as old as Methuselah, who lived to be almost 1,000. I'm 55, and if I live to be 110, I will thank God when I get there, as I thank Him for every day that I have now, because my best friend never even saw 48, and she had been my best friend of over 30 years. So you got to get busy, people, and quit bullshitting. I just had to put it out there because there are so many of you out there that are not taking the next step. And the reason why I wanted to share this is because I was listening to Audra Richmond. If you're not familiar with her, Google her. She's on YouTube, Audra Richmond. She's got a school channel. She's somebody that I admire and I love in this online internet space because her candor and her honesty are so on point. And I decided today I'm gonna take a page out of her playbook and I'm going to speak directly to the people who have not taken action to move the needle forward in their business or with their life. Wherever you are at this point in your life, anything that you're not happy about is a direct result of the decisions that you made to get you to this point. And if you are not happy, the only way you're going to get out of this situation is to make different decisions. We all know the definition of insanity, so I'm not going to go into that. But I will talk about all of you fence setters, you people sitting on the fence that are scared to make a move. You need to stop because the older you are, the less time you have. So if you're serious about making your mark in this internet space and you are serious about learning how to take digital marketing to the next level, then you need to get serious about taking action in your business. Nothing is going to move unless you do. So, for those who don't know me, I am Cecelia Faye Morris, also known as Digital Marketing Maven. I teach business owners how to use automation, AI, and Facebook to build their brand and their business online. And this is Wednesday Wisdom, the day of the week where I share tools, tips, tactics, and strategies for us all to stay current and relevant on social media to generate leads, clients, customers, and sales. So I told this story before about how I had to make some critical decisions in my business if I wanted to get to the next level. I told you how I started out selling a $397 product. Yes, $397 for 7 days of working with me. And it was a hustle every single day to make sure that I got 8 new clients every single month. It wasn't until I dropped $5,000 to get somebody to show me how I could create a whole coaching program where I could charge more, where I wasn't hustling every day trying to get my 8 people. Instead, I only needed 3. And with those 3 people, I could give them more of an experience and I could focus on their goals instead of focusing on where my next dollar is coming from. And then it wasn't until I spent another $5,000 to learn how to get good at Facebook ads, right? I was learning how to blog, I was learning how to run traffic ads, but it was from that experience that I learned how to do conversion ads where I could actually just build an email list. I've done 3 events since June 29th. I did one on June 29th, one on July 31st, and one on August 21st. And I built my email list to close to 700 people for a 1 day event. These are 700 people that didn't know me from a can of paint, but now they're on my email list and I can nurture them. I can love on them. I can share value with them. But it only happened because I learned how to create successful, highly successful, might I add, Facebook ads. And then there's the other $5,000 that I dropped to learn how to create software. Did you know that you can create your own software? Yeah, me either until I did. And then I did it, right? So I learned the first thing I learned was how to create a Chrome extension. Okay, great. Now I got my own Chrome extension. Like you can literally go find my Chrome extension. It's called Groups Tag. It's a Chrome extension for Facebook admin and moderators to create subgroups inside of their Facebook group. So what happened from those three experiences and $15,000? Every time I made the decision to invest in myself, I leveled up my business. So think about, I heard Myron Golden, he says this a lot. Destruction follows intention. What is your intention for your business? What is your intention for your life? And then I was listening to Napoleon Hill earlier today, and he said the same thing. God destroys something not to break you down, but to build you up, right? He talked about Joseph, who was put in a pit, sold into slavery, and put into prison, all before he became second in command in Egypt overnight. He woke up in prison and went to bed in the palace. But he had to be broken down in the pit, the slavery, and the prison before that can happen, right? Or you talk about David. David killed Goliath. Saul made all these promises. Whoever killed Goliath, you don't pay taxes, you get this, you get that, you get this. David did it, and then Saul got jealous and wanted to kill him because the people were praising David more than Saul, and he was king. So David went into isolation, he went into hiding, he had to do a whole lot of stuff, and he had been anointed as king, but he couldn't step into the throne until Saul got out of the way. Again, destruction following intention, right? I could tell you stories from the Bible, but let's not make this a biblical thing because you should know your Bible, especially if you're a certain age. What are you willing to destroy? $15,000 is a lot of money. And each time I did it, I had to do a because again, that's a lot of money. But because I did it, it put me in a better place. And now I just created another piece of software, which is the Speaker Event Finder. The Speaker Event Finder helps speakers find events that match their message, their expertise, and their audience a lot faster and easier than they would do it with a Google search or searching on Facebook groups or just trying to find the gatekeepers on LinkedIn. So I put it all in a nice piece of software and it sells like gangbusters. I mean, I'm so thankful and grateful that God put this idea into me and that I was able to make it come to fruition. But I wouldn't have known it's possible if I didn't drop $5,000 to learn how to create my first piece of software, which was my Chrome extension. So disruption follows intention. What are you willing to blow up in your life to get to the next thing? And that's where you're gonna find the gold at the end of the rainbow. You gotta give up something in order to get something. It might be money, it might be time. So if money is your limiting factor, then you gotta put in some time. Now I'm not saying go to YouTube University, but I am saying you need to find somebody on YouTube that you trust and value and want to emulate, and then you need to follow them on YouTube and absorb everything they put out there. I'm not saying be a butterfly and just go around here, here, and here. You got to find somebody, you got to follow them, and then you got to save your coins because you got to pay to play in this game. I'm sorry, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but nobody's giving away free training. Why? Nobody values free. The more you pay, the more you pay attention. So be prepared to pay at some point. If that means you have to give them your daily Starbucks, or if that means you have to pack your lunch for a month, whatever it is you need to do it so you can get to the next level in your business. Because as I said at the start of the video, if you're like me, about to turn 55 years old, you got more days behind you than you have in front of you. So if you are trying to get into this digital marketing game, if you do have a coaching program, a book, if you want to be a paid, booked and busy paid speaker, then you need to get busy because the older you are, the less time you have to make it happen. So if you're still sitting around hawing, trying to figure it out, if you're still wondering, well, this is the right move for me, you are sitting there doing nothing while people with less skill and talent are racing past you every single day. How many times are you going to watch somebody who's less talented, less articulate, with less skills show up and blow up right in front of your face? That could be you. Now, let's not compare ourselves. Let me be clear. This is not about comparing yourself to someone else because your day one could be somebody else's day 351. But if you don't start with day one, you will never get there. So let me go back and give Audra Richmond her flowers. So the first video that she did, she went to Russell Simmons' Funnel Hackers, the last Funnel Hackers Live that he did last year. And she came back and she did a debrief and she talked about how much Russell has helped people like me and her and others in this online space all through funnels. And Russell put funnels out there to the world in like 2014. So 11 years at the time of him doing the last Funnel Hackers, even though it was the 10th year of Funnel Hackers, 2014. I guess it was 10 years, 2014 to 2024. But she talked about how when she was in the event, people were not even paying attention to the King of the Hill. And she was so upset and disrespected for him that she was actually kind of moved to tears a little bit because he's the King of the Hill. Like this selling thing online, he's got it on lock, right? Everybody else, not everybody, so I use that term loosely, but I'm just going to say it for this video. Everybody else is some form of imitation of Russell Brunson. I've gone to numerous, I mean, numerous webinars. I can see his funnel framework a mile away. So I know that in some way, shape, or form, they were trained with this perfect webinar funnel. I can see it a mile away. And again, he's good at it. He's really good at it. But more importantly, I loved her honesty, her candor, and her openness about how upset she was that people were not paying attention to what this man had to say, who's been in the game, killing it for 10 years. And then she did another video. I'm looking at my notes. She did another video talking about why she changed her old program, so to speak. And she was talking about why she's had horrible experiences, as have I. If you've been in this digital marketing space for any length of time, you've had at least 1 to 5, if not more, bad experiences. She told the story of the chick who sold her a high ticket program, but then wouldn't tell her how to do the next thing unless she paid more money. It's like, well, what the hell? I just gave you a lot of money and now I got to pay you more to get the next thing. She talked about people who said, I can do this for you, and they didn't do anything. She talked about people that she has helped get to the mountaintop, and as soon as they got there, they forgot all about her. Russell Brunson shared a similar story. He's been the ClickFunnels man for a very long time, and when Go High Level came out, all the people that, not all, so I'm using that loosely, a lot of the people who had walked across his stage, get 2 comma awards, jumped ship like he was just the dirt on the bottom of their shoe or whatever. Now, Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels was awesome. I used it for a very long time. It took me like a number of years. I just flipped over to Go High Level, but I was never a 2 comma club person either. But I'm on my way. I am on my way. Let me say that part. But anyway, she shared how people she helped get to the mountaintop ghosted her. She talked about chargebacks, like when people pay for your program and then they go to their bank and be like, oh, I didn't mean to do it, or oh, this was fraud, or oh, I lost my card. I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. I got somebody right now who paid for my Chrome extension $17 a month for 4 months. And now all of a sudden she's crying fraud. Like, for real? Is this what we doing? Not. But she did, and I disputed it. But it's not the first time. I've had someone who signed up for my program, and then she told me her sister passed away, which I feel bad. I do feel bad. I'm not that cold hearted or whatever, but did you tell your landlord you couldn't pay the rent because your sister passed away? And I even gave her a window to just kind of get some things together. I think her sister had kids and stuff. But at the same time, I mean, you committed to this program, right? I'm sorry that your sister passed away, but unfortunately, as I know from a lot of death that's happened in my life, the world doesn't stop spinning and the clock doesn't stop ticking just because you lost somebody. And I ended up having to take her to court, right? And then I found out that, as individual business owners, we can actually hire a collection agency to go out and get that money for us, right? I didn't find that out until somebody came after me for their money. And it wasn't that I didn't want to pay this person, but she misrepresented herself. And when I called her on her ish, then she started backpedaling. She wanted to offer me more time. She wanted to offer me more one-on-ones. But at this point, you done left a bad taste in my mouth. And I was like, no ma'am, no ham, no turkey. So she sent her skip traces on me, and I immediately set them straight by having my attorney send them a cease and desist letter, right? And I pointed out all the things that she did not do per the contract. So I'm just saying, these are all the things that we go through. And then one of the things Audra talked about was how she wanted the success of her clients more than her clients wanted success. Like she would be, if they didn't show up for calls, she'd be like, hey, where you at? We doing this trading or whatever. Whereas I was that person too. Like I would send emails and text messages. And then I was like, wait a minute. I'm not doing this for you. If you paid for me and you didn't think enough to put me on your calendar to show up, I'm not your alarm clock. I'm not your mama. I'm not that girl, period. Right? So I had to step back and realize that People will pay money and never show up, right? And then some people will pay big money. I'm talking $5,000 or more and never show up. But then on the flip side, I got somebody who spent $17 for 4 months and I was crying, fraud, fraud, or whatever. So I'm sharing all of this with you because I was so refreshed with Audra Richmond sharing her story and her journey. And she's been at this longer than me. I didn't get serious until 2018. She's been at it since 2014. So I'm sure she's seen a lot more than me and she has more stories to tell. But the similarities are still there. But the thing that makes us both the same, even though we're different, is that we're still here. So if you're still here and you're still watching this video, then I invite you to start taking that next step. I have no masterclass for you to sign up for today. I have no schedule a call and let's talk about your business with me today. I'm just telling you to take that next step. Whatever that thing is that you've been putting off, do it. If you've never spent $300 on a course before, spend the $300 if it's going to help you get to the next level. Quit being cheap about your business. Quit looking for free everywhere. Quit being a butterfly, picking up free shit everywhere and not getting a cohesive program that's really going to move the needle forward in your business. Because again, if you're like me on the cusp of 55, you got more days behind you than you do in front of you. So if you're ready to get rich quick, now's the time to get started. There is no get rich quick scheme, but if you find the right program with the right mentor and the right coach, the faster you move, you'll get there a lot sooner rather than later if you don't do anything. And if you do think that I'm your girl to help you get to the other side, then there is a link in the description of this video somewhere where we can have a conversation. But more importantly, this is my PSA to you because we are in the last 4 months of 2025. We got September, October, November, and December. If you have not made any substantial gains in your business, then it's time to get busy living or let's get busy letting your business die, right? And if you don't want your business to die like a fly, have you heard that saying, like a fly? How you can have the door open 10 feet away, but they keep bumping into the window, right? Don't be the fly. Don't keep bumping into the window. The door is open. Just walk through it. So that's my Wednesday wisdom for today. Please take action in some way, shape, or form in your business, in your life. If you're not happy where you are, you're not a tree. Move. I am Cecelia Bay Morris, digital marketing maven. I help business owners build their brand and business online using automation, AI, and Facebook. Bye for now.